Hello, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me as yet. We're looking to go live soon. If there is anybody, you can just let me know. Oh, I guess we're live now. So, how is everyone doing? Happy Thursday. It's our first time going live on the Winged account on Facebook, and I'm super excited about it. I'm Ruchika, for those of you who don't know me. I have been a meditation instructor with the Art of Living for over 10 years now. And I never used to be on Facebook much, or Instagram, or social media. I was one of those people. And ever since we launched Winged, I've had no choice but to be on social media. And what I've noticed is, as I look at people's Facebook pages and Instagram pages and even TikTok, yes, I am on TikTok, it's amazing to see how we tend to show the best versions of ourselves, our most perfect lives. And we don't always have that, right? Our lives are not always perfect, and we don't always feel great, and we always don't look good. But what we show is a very curated version of ourselves. And I thought it'd be really helpful for us to have a session which is completely unfiltered, unplugged, where we can have real conversations about things that are happening inside of us. So I'm excited about that, to create that space for all of us. And so today I was wondering, what would I talk about? And I thought I would go first and talk about some of the things that I have grappled with for most of my life, in terms of things that have not let me be joyful, have come in the way of me being spontaneous or carefree. And one of them is fear. And for most of you who know me, or those of you who do, you might not think fear is one of the things that I might have to struggle with, right? And for me, fear at multiple levels. And today I'll talk about it at the level of the body. I'm not one of those people who goes bungee jumping or flying off from the craft or even scuba. I'm like, I need to be safe. I need to protect my body. If anything, even when my husband's driving really fast, I'm like, slow down. I'm one of those very cautious people when it comes to just taking risks at the level of the physical body. And so today is snowing. Yes, it's snowing outside. And it was snowing, I think, 10 days back. We had a huge snowstorm in New York, which reminds me there is quite a bit of cold happening in Texas right now, and people are not doing so well. I think there is no electricity in lots of places, water shortage, and I just read this morning that people are actually putting on the gas to keep themselves warm, and that can be issues with carbon monoxide. So if you have friends in Texas, colleagues, even if you have not been in touch with them for many months or years, it might be the time to just reach out to them. It could be a text message, a messenger message, or Insta. Just reach out and see how they're doing. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. But anyway, coming back to here, there was a big snowstorm 10 days back. You guys might remember, those of you on the East Coast. And my husband and myself, we actually enjoy sledding. And I've only done sledding on baby slopes. So I was excited about it. And normally we use garbage bags. It does quite well. And we're the only adults with lots of little kids, right? Because it would be the smallest slopes. And this time we decided to kind of, up our game a little bit. We got this hot pink sled and decided to go to Central Park, and we decided we would sled over there. Like I said, I am not the adventurous kind. I'm trying to nudge my husband towards the baby slopes. And he is a daredevil, right? God normally puts combinations like that together for entertainment. And he wanted to go to the steeper ones. I let in. I let go because he was so excited about it. And we had a few really great runs. Amazing. We were having a lot of fun. We were shrieking, screaming. It was like a roller coaster, but we were having a good time. And then we decided to go on a little bit of an off-beaten path. And what happened is there was a little rock, which we didn't see, and we flew off and landed and had a little bit of an accident. Him kind of impacting his back, me, I kind of impacted my eye. And a little bit you can see even right now, it's 10 days back. And of course we had friends. Thank God we had Paul over there who was helping us, and Yasho, big call out to you. She was there, so she kind of ensured that we kind of got back home and we treated ourselves. And for the next couple of days, we were in a little bit of pain, and the body was in a little bit of shock. So 3 or 4 days later, I reached out to my husband, and I asked him, I'm like, what did you learn from this experience? And just mind you, the slope was a big one. So halfway through the slope, I told my husband we should stop now because I'm the careful person. And he's like, no, let's go. And we went ahead. And then we met with the accident. So I was thinking he would say, you know, you should listen to your wife. And I was really excited about it. I'm like, there's the first man on the planet who's going to say, listen to his wife. But guess what? That's not what he said. What he said was, you know, we should go sledding, but only when we can see the entire slope. And it made me pause. You know, for me, I had thought I was going to give up on sledding for the next few years at least, because I was feeling a little bit, there was still a little bit of fear, right? If I go down again, what if I met with another accident? What if I hurt myself again? And for him, he was like, okay, as long as we can, you know, lesson is don't go where you cannot see the entire sled or the entire slope, or go to a not such a big slope. And it really reminded me of what my spiritual teacher, Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, says. He says, you know, every time there's a traumatic incident, there is a lesson and there is an emotion. And normally what we do is we hold on to the emotion and forget the lesson. And that's what I was doing. I was holding on to the fear. And what Aniket was doing was holding on to the lesson. And it's not just for sledding, it's for everything in life, right? It could be public speaking. We get up there, we make a mistake, people laugh, and the next time you don't want to get up and stand up over there. Or it could be, you know, worried about what people think about us. Somebody says something about us, and the next thing we know, we don't want to interact with those people, or don't want to put ourselves in that situation. So just notice how fear is coming up in our lives again and again in different ways and not letting us be free. You know, it goes back to the time I remember as a little kid, not very little, I must have been around 10 years old, and I'd learned how to swim. But again, the theme of fear and taking care of my body and not taking unnecessary chances has been there since I was a kid. And I remember the coach saying, okay, Ruchika, now you swim well enough to jump from the high board. And the high board was nearly 25 or 30 feet high. And I felt very excited. I went up to the high board, and I went to the edge of the high board, and I looked down, and I'm like, oh my God, this was like many stories of apartments, right? I'm like, ooh. And I walked backwards, and I went forward again, and I went backwards. And I kept doing that. And my coach was really sweet. He realized that there was hesitation, and he said, you know, Ruchika, it's okay. You don't have to do it this week. You can do it next week. And I remember telling to myself, you know, I was 10 years old, and I remember having this conversation with myself, and I said, Ruchika, you can do it next week. But that would mean that fear has won, and you've given into it. Or you can just run to the edge of the jumping board and jump off, and you would have conquered fear. And that's what I did. I ran and I jumped into the water. Not to say I didn't have butterflies in my stomach, not to say I didn't have fear, but I leaned into it. So what I'm going to do this week is do exactly what I did as a 10-year-old. I'm going to lean into my fear, and with all the snow, go back sledding, and I will do it in a bunny slope. But what I also invite you to do is figure out what is it that is holding you back. Anything that you've been wanting to do, but fear comes up again and again. And maybe this is the week to kind of break it. It could be small, it could be large, it doesn't really matter. Just take one step, and that one step, leaning into fear, the discomfort of it, will set all of us free, because otherwise we'll stay prisoners to it. So that's one of the thoughts that I have for you for this week. And I don't know if any of you have questions or thoughts to share or comments. I would love to just, if there are, or if you want to share anything, I would love to just hear from you. We'll have different themes like this. We'll all learn from each other. Sometimes there'll be things that you're doing amazingly well that I can learn from, and the entire Winged team can learn from, and vice versa. There might be things that we have kind of navigated and conquered, which might help you. So if there is a question, you can just put it in the chat. I do see chats and comments. And if not, then we can connect back again next week. Until then, find the one thing that you're going to lean into, which has been holding you back, fear, the thing that tells you not to do it, and reach out to a friend of yours in Texas and check in on them. Okay? Take care. Stay in wonder.